Hello everyone, welcome to another part of my tutorial regarding Webmin. Well, let's log in. Previously we configured SSL, so as you can see the padlock is working. I also showed two-way authentication. Well, overall, if you look at this main page of system information in Webmin, you have like this bell icon here that says that if you need some upgrades or something, you got all the information here. Of course, you can also have information about your host name, operating system, system time, kernel, system uptime, how many processes are running at the moment. Here you have some notifications, package update is available, so that's pretty neat stuff. Recent logins, you can even check who logged in recently and when, from which IP address to the server. Disk usage, how much disk usage is made, actually is used. This is like my main disk, and this is some additional disk that I've created and mounted. So alright, going back to our main view. So like I said, you have of course your host name, you can change it if you wish, operating system, Webmin version. What's next? Authentic theme version. So you can of course change your themes. I will try to talk about all of those things one after another. So I'm preparing stuff about the backups. So maybe we can go for a moment here, change language and themes. So of course you can play with the Webmin as you wish. You can change different themes. There's quite a lot of them on the internet, so there is no problem in that regard. If it goes to Webmin action logs, that's also quite nice stuff, I think, because if you wish, you can also do email notification. You just put your email here and you can be of course notified about different things. Oh yeah, so you can put your email here and you can be notified about different things happening in your modules. You can select all the modules or just the different modules that you want to be actually notified by Webmin if something is being changed on the server. So let's see, we have here actions in the module. So in any module, or we can pick a certain module that we can actually look upon. So let's just see bind DNS server, because I have bind DNS. I have Apache web server, so maybe bind DNS. I'm gonna choose from any at any time. Show full description, yeah, and let's search. We're gonna see, and there you go. There's like a list of information, who made changes, which time and which date it was made, what was being done with the bind DNS. So if you have like different admins working on the server, you can always check stuff up. If somebody fucks up something, you can also check who did it and when and stuff like that. So let's check at any time. Let's pick a different module then. Maybe Apache web server, because I also have it. Yeah, okay. And there's a little bit more stuff. You can even export all of this stuff to a CSV file. So this is really nice as well. All the times when somebody, of course, who logged in, well, root was logging in from IP address, at which time and which date, which module was used, so Apache web server, and what stuff has been done on the module. We can of course open one of the actions and see So yeah, generated by script, log entry, nothing here, raw log, data. Yeah, basically all of the stuff that is posted here you can basically see here, because it's the same thing. Once again, it's basically the same stuff. Let's see, starting the server, file, change in the comments, nothing here, or enter nothing here. Okay, so only this thing. So basically, well, the session ID is also here. Check that out, session ID. When I pick the session ID, it sorted everything that was related to the session ID. So of course the certain date and time was picked for it, of course, yeah, and the user. Right, so this is basically action logs. Quite a nice feature. Like I said, you can configure email notifications about all the stuff that is happening on your server or different modules that you want to configure to be notified about. Right. Okay, so let's go. I'm gonna skip for now Webmin configuration because there's quite a lot of stuff here actually. So that's gonna be another video, I think quite a long one, because there's, well, quite a lot of things here to talk about. Mainly what I'm gonna talk about for now, just gonna say ports and addresses, because many people, when they use Webmin, usually they of course do the backup configuration of the server, maybe change some themes. Of course they go to the configuration and change the ports. They bind the IP address to a certain ports, which you can do here. So if you go to the ports and addresses, you can change a specific port here, because Webmin has a default port of 10,000. If somebody knows that and tries to look on the web for it, it might find your server. So it's better to change this port, and you can of course bind the certain IP address to the port. So any address or only address, and then you pick the specific address of your web server, which mine is, of course, it's just a test server. Then you pick, of course, the range. So I'm gonna do, because I like this, so I'm gonna pick this one. Open new ports on firewall, check that out. Accept IPv6 connections, yeah, if you want to. Listen for broadcast on UDP port, this one. Now, well, of course, then I'm gonna just change to this one. Alright, web server host name from the browser, so this one, of course. Reverse resolve connected IP address. Yeah, of course, I would like that to be ticked. It's needed as well. Maximum total concurrent connections. Default is 50. Like, well, total connections, I can drop this to 10. Maximum current connections per IP. Well, per IP, I'm gonna drop that to 10 as well. Maximum concurrent connections per network. Oh, I'm gonna leave it on default. Maximum Webmin process lifetime, unlimited, or just in seconds. You can also check this out. The thing is, when you try to actually change this port, I'm gonna save it in a moment, we're gonna see what happens. Probably there should be a notification that you cannot do it because some things are not installed. We're gonna see. Let's check. Yep. Fail to change the address. IPv6 cannot be enabled unless the socket 6 Perl module is installed. So basically, before you configure this, you need to install this socket 6 Perl module. on your Webmin server. So let's do it. I'm just gonna pull up my server here. Okay, and let's go to installing this Perl module. So it's gonna be apt get install -y lib socket 6 dash Perl. And now we have to wait a second. Okay, it's installed, great. Now let's do maybe systemctl, restart the Webmin. Right, let's restart. I think it should be up. Let's just check. It's fine. Status, everything's good. Alright, so let's go again to ports and addresses. Let's change this. Bind the port to the IP address, or the IP address to the port. Maybe don't listen, I will pick this one. Okay, this is fine. I'm gonna change this to default 10. I'm gonna change those to 10. This is default fine, and I'm gonna save it. Oh, so there you go. This port is already in use. Okay, so I'm just gonna pick another one, like this one. I guess I used it somewhere. I think I probably forgot. Alright, so now all the changes are being saved. And as you can see, we have been redirected to our IP address where our new port. We are gonna change. Of course, to this one. Okay, fine. Padlock is here, good. And there we go. That's how we changed our port. Now it's a custom one. It's customized, sorry, bias. Okay, so let's go back here. Webmin configuration for a moment again. So I talked about this, of course. Let's just check SSL encryption for a moment. Our keys are here, they are inserted, fine. Untick those two, or those three actually. I've got those three unticked. I only left TSLV 1.1 and 1.2. Okay, so for now I'm gonna leave this. Let's jump to server index, because this is quite useful as well, I think. This option is very useful for people that have like a lot of servers and they want to cluster them. So if you want to have like just one main server, like let's say this one, you go into the server, log into Webmin, and you have all your servers connected there. So you can jump to different servers without any hustle and bustle and writing IP addresses of those servers or different ports on whichever port they are. So that's gonna be used by me because I've set up a test server. So to show you how it works, this maybe I'm gonna just show you in a moment, but first of all I wanted to talk a little bit more about this feature. So the Webmin servers index. So how to cluster Webmin servers for a single point of aim entry. So This is lesser known. This is a lesser known feature that you should probably be making use of, especially if you have a data center full of Linux servers. That feature is the ability to cluster Webmin servers together. Once you've clustered servers together, you can manage certain elements such as users, software, cron jobs, passwords of those servers, and even gain access to the shell of any machine in the cluster. The only thing you'll need to make this for this to work are a minimum of 2 servers running Webmin. It doesn't matter which Linux distribution servers are run. So it doesn't matter if you have CentOS, Debian, whichever, it's gonna be fine. Okay, so let's start. First of all, we need to broadcast for servers, so we are actually looking for any servers on our network. So as you can see, a new server has been found. Well, let's go back. So this is my second server that I found. First of all, you can click here to customize different stuff. So there you go, that's the IP address of the server. You can change the port of the server, so let's change it to like maybe 7. To be honest, I think I won't be able to, because I need to also install this libsocket 6 Perl module on the second server, so I'm gonna leave it for now like this. Server type, well, of course we can change it to whichever it is. It's Debian SSL server, yes. Description, so host name, members of server group, so you can make a group. Let's call the group like this, for example. So you can put all the servers in one group. And then you have like a link type. So normal link to the server. What is normal link? Or actually, I'm gonna save it for now. When you click here now, you're gonna be. I'm gonna show you. This is what happens when it's a normal link. You're just being redirected to the login page of another server. Of course, if you have SSL set up on this other servers, you won't have this problem, of course. I don't have it because it's just a test. But if you want to just click on it and go straight to the server, you need to, of course, provide password authentication. So let's change to login via Webmin with username and password. So I'm just gonna do this. So whichever account you see fit to put here that has privileges to login, you can do it. And now let's save it. Nope, thanks. Now when I click this, I should be redirected straight to the other server without, of course, logging in. Right. And there we go, we are in the other server right now. Yeah, that's the other server, doesn't have anything installed, it's just basic stuff on it. So of course I can install here while I have the opportunity. I will pull up the other server, this Perl module, so we can of course change the port of this other server, because it's basically, it shows you that it's on the 665 because you're still like connected to your main server. You're just like on a string, just jumping from your main server to the other one. Doesn't matter. Okay, let's just install this. -y -perl. There we go. Right, so this is done, it's covered. Yeah, and you can also jump here as well, server index. You can do the same broadcast for any servers. Return to the server. As you can see, it only found this server, so it's basically the same one that I'm at this one right now. The current server. Okay, so I think I'm just gonna jump back to my original one. Alright, we are here, so let's go back to the index. Now let's go here again. Let's change the port for like 667 for example. Save. There we go, the port is changed for this server. If you need to go to the server, you can of course just click on it and there you go, and you're there. So basically you can have like a lot of servers here. Okay. Next thing, we have something called cluster here. So if you go here to the cluster, you go to the cluster Webmin servers, and here you can actually add, because here's the group that we created for the servers. You can add the server to the group. So let's add the other server to the group. Return to the server list. Right, manage the servers. Add servers in a group. You can also press this. Managing servers, add the server. Right, add the server. Okay, so this server, add servers in the group. I'm gonna pick this one as well. Right, okay. So this is my current server. Connection refused to this server. Okay, this connection refused to the server, that's why I cannot add it. Let's check then. Pings are going. So I guess this is not the problem here. Well, basically what this cluster is, because you can add here to the cluster all of your servers. So if I could just now add this second server, it would appear of course here, just like I showed you here before in the index. So it would be something like this. You would have it here, and you would have, because you have in the cluster different things like users and groups, cluster user means servers, software packages, shell commands, cron jobs. So basically you can do like cron jobs for different servers while they are listed here. And the same goes of course for managing users. So you don't need to go to the certain server, log in, change something. You just go here to your cluster, press on a server, you're immediately in the other server, and you can change whatever you want to change in this server. So add a user, add a group, find user, whose username equals this, or like user ID equals something, or a group. So you can do different stuff. User means servers. This server probably won't be able to because it's refusing the connection. Maybe it needs to be restarted. I will see in a moment. Let's just do let's restart the other Webmin because I changed the port to a different one, so maybe that was the case. Seems fine, it's running. Let's try again. Well, unfortunately something's up with the connection to the other one. Oh well. Nonetheless, if you have everything configured properly, I guess I have something not configured like it should be on the other server. Maybe something's wrong with my firewall rules or something. Maybe something's blocking it. Either way, you will have all your servers added here, and like I said, you can do different stuff with them here. Even copy files. You can create a new scheduled file copy. So basically, copy different things like making backups of the servers, picking which hour you will do the backups on the servers. So changing, of course, passwords, right? Select a user to change the password. So basically here you have all the users on the system, and while you can just pick one, let's just say admin, you can change the password to this user, right? Mail, backup root, of course, so very handy stuff. What else? Copying files, so backups, cron jobs, of course, shell commands. So you can execute shell commands. You just pick the server that you have listed, which kind of command you want to run on the server, run the command, and it's done. Software packages, let's check this out. It's a shame I cannot add it right now. Oh well. But nonetheless, you get the picture. User means servers, users and groups. Yeah, so basically that's how it looks. You can of course synchronize here, refresh user and group lists. Let's do synchronize. Okay, return to server list. Right, so basically that's the cluster feature. Very easy, very basic, to be honest. Nothing complicated here. If everything is well configured, you won't have any problems with adding another server, as I was this time, because well, happens. What else? Like I said, Webmin users. So I'm gonna talk about this briefly at the end of this video. I'm gonna cover this small thing. So Webmin users, of course, you can set up here as well two-way and authentication from this module. You can here are my users. So this is my main user, right? You can create a new safe user, a new privileged user. You can probably delete the user, so delete selected. You create a new Webmin group, of course. Let's see, convert Unix to Webmin users. So yeah, probably if you have like few users here, you can tick something and then just convert it. Configure Unix user authentication. Define no Webmin because no, I have not defined any groups, so that's why. User authentication configured in Unix. So let's check this one out. As you can see, authentication, allow Unix user, only allow Webmin users to log in. Allow Unix users listed below to log in. So basically you can just choose which kind of user you want to pick here. User of group, and as a Webmin user, root, of course. If I had other users, I could pick other users. You can just choose members of a group that can log into your server if they are in a specific group, like admins or whatever. Or you can just pick leave it at this as all users. So a lot of stuff to play with, a lot of stuff to customize. Let's go back, continue. View login sessions. Okay, let's pick out my user, view all the login sessions, also show logged out sessions if you wish. View logs. Let's see, these are the logs, additional logs. You can export them to a CSV file. Again, nice feature. Okay, let's go back here. Two-factor authentication, of course, showed that before. So let's see this one, this feature. Webmin's integration provides a way for user module and ICL permissions to be determined by role-based access control. I think I won't use any of this. What do we have here for password restrictions? What about password? That's pretty neat, because you can restrict passwords for different users. So password, what kind of letters can be used. So minimum password length you can set up here, of course. Regular expression passwords must match if you want some expressions. Description for regular days before password must be changed. This is very nice, of course. Yeah, you can set it up for like 30 days, 60 days, whichever, depending what kind of policy you're running on your server and at your current working place. Days before unchanged password locks account. So I rather leave it at account is never locked. Disallow passwords containing usernames. Yes, I think that should be ticked on yes. Disallow dictionary word passwords. Probably yeah. A number of old passwords to reject. Yeah, that's also quite important, because of course users on the server, sooner or later they are gonna use quite a lot of those passwords if you're changing them every 30 days. So yeah, then also set it up here. So that's like basic password stuff regarding your server. Let's check out last thing, users and group database. What do we have here? Options for database, backend for users and groups. Use MySQL database. So use only local files to store users and groups. Yeah, if you have like MySQL, if you have Postgre SQL, LDAP server, you can set up those options here just by setting up the username and password to the database, and of course the database name. I have only MySQL database that I installed here on my server. So yeah, download LDAP scheme. So basically that's Webmin users. Okay, so I think I've talked quite a long time. That's gonna be it for now. We're gonna go back in a next video. I'm gonna talk about backing up the configuration of your Webmin, because as you can see, if we go to backup configuration, we have like backup, we have scheduled backups where you can actually construct a scheduled backup for your server for certain days of the week or of the month. Of course, restoring the backup, and you have here in the backup three options. So local file, backing up to a local file, backing up to a FTP server, and of course backing up to SSH server. And of course the last option is downloading in the browser. So basically you're downloading your configuration from the browser to your desktop. If you are logged in from, let's say, Windows-based operating system to your server through Webmin, you can just download it. Okay, I'm gonna drop it for now. It's gonna be in another video. So thanks for listening, and I will see you soon.